All right, welcome back, Focus Learners, to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this material today because, well, we're setting the stage for a really fascinating scientific deep dive. We're going to look at how clinical hypnosis actually interacts with human memory. It's a topic that is so often misunderstood, but as you'll see when we look closely at the research, the clinical realities are honestly far more incredible than the fiction. Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. Demystifying clinical hypnosis, 2. Safe and natural states, 3. Trauma and memory blocks, 4. Hyperamnesia, unlocking stored details, 5. The risk of confabulation, and finally, 6. Safeguarding the justice system. Section 1. Demystifying clinical hypnosis. So, to truly grasp the science here, we have to kind of strip away all those pop culture myths we've grown up with. Ask yourself, what exactly is clinical hypnosis? I want you to forget the stage magicians, forget the swinging pocket watches, the Hollywood mind control plots, and please, for sure, forget the idea of people clucking like chickens on a stage. The clinical reality is just entirely different. In fact, the American Psychological Association officially defines hypnotherapy as a state of consciousness involving focused attention and reduced peripheral awareness. Notice what's missing there. It doesn't say mind control. It's really just an enhanced capacity to respond to suggestion, guided by a trained professional, using the subject's own imagination and focus. The contrast here between myth and reality is just stark. While stage hypnosis pushes this super harmful idea of magical, involuntary mind control, clinical hypnosis is fundamentally about empowerment. It requires your complete volition. You literally cannot be hypnotized if you don't want to be. It's a highly collaborative, focused process. Section 2. Safe and natural states. You know, this altered state isn't something to fear at all, because it's actually incredibly natural. Clinical hypnotherapist Paul Gustafson brilliantly calls it a daydream by design. I mean, think about it. Have you ever zoned out while driving on the highway, only to realize you completely missed your exit? That's highway hypnosis. It's a mild trance. Clinical hypnosis is just safely harnessing that exact inner peacefulness, but with a specific therapeutic purpose. During clinical hypnosis, your brainwaves actually mirror those remarkably safe, natural states, very much like that deep relaxation you feel right before falling asleep. It offers this profound, healing relaxation that allows clients to just step away from day-to-day distractions and become deeply centered. And because it's such a safe state, the therapeutic applications are fantastic. Professionals use this empowering tool to help patients embrace healthy nutrition, release unhealthy patterns like smoking, and even find long-term relief from IBS symptoms. It's a highly beneficial intervention for overall well-being. Section 3. Trauma and memory blocks. So how does all this connect to the justice system, right? Well, it comes down to what happens during psychotrauma. When a witness or a victim experiences extreme stress, it directly impairs how their sensory data is encoded. It creates intense memory blocks. The trauma effectively hides the memory. Hypnosis acts as a clinical solution here, reducing that high arousal anxiety and allowing the mind to relax just enough to retrieve that hidden, blocked data. Section 4. Hyperamnesia, unlocking stored details. And this brings us to a really highly specific application used by experts, notably forensic psychologist George Dimitrov. He argues a totally crucial point. Hypnosis does not create memory. Our memory is continuously working, right? It's encoding sensory data, sort of like a recording. When extreme emotion blocks access to that recording, hypnosis simply facilitates the retrieval of the data that's already stored there. This specific process has a name. It's known as hyperamnesia, or investigative memory recall. It is the remarkable ability to access peripheral details that the conscious mind just filtered out during a traumatic event. In practice, this could mean helping a witness recall an exact license plate from a super chaotic crime scene, or even something as simple as locating a misplaced item by bypassing those conscious mental blocks. Section 5. The risk of confabulation. Now, bringing this into a legal setting raises the stakes immensely. While investigative memory recall aims to accurately retrieve facts, the court's absolute greatest fear is confabulation. That's the inadvertent creation of false memories. Because hypnosis induces a highly suggestible state, witnesses become incredibly vulnerable. Even a slightly leading question or subtle pressure might cause a subject to subconsciously fabricate memories just to please the investigator. Section 6. Safeguarding the justice system. So, how do we prevent confabulation? Well, under strict guidelines, like those from Bond-Solon witness familiarization, a witness's evidence has to be their honest, uncoached, and completely independent recollection, expressed in their own words. If an investigator accidentally taints a memory during trauma recovery, that witness's future testimony could be rendered completely inadmissible in court. And this is where George Dimitrov's findings are really paramount. Safety isn't just about the state of hypnosis. It is the procedural environment. How the expert conducts the session, the physical space they create, and the strict avoidance of leading questions, these are entirely critical to prevent the risk of suggestion. The environment literally has to be an absolute neutral vacuum. To guarantee that neutrality, professionals use a rigorous neuroforensic approach. Step 1, they deeply assess the psychological trauma. Step 2, and this is crucial, they quantify the subject's vulnerability using robust psychometric tools, like the Good-Johnson Suggestibility Scale, or GSS. Only after mathematically understanding that risk do they move to Step 3, attempting the delicate retrieval process, ensuring absolute zero memory contamination. So we're left with this really big question. If our memories are truly this fragile, how do we constantly balance the human mind's desperate need to heal from trauma with the justice system's uncompromising demand for the whole unvarnished truth? It's this incredibly delicate, fascinating tightrope between therapeutic care and forensic science. I really hope this explainer has given you a newfound appreciation for the incredible complexities of human memory and the rigorous safeguards we use to protect it. Thanks so much for joining me.